You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Okay. I'd like to call a regular meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners on Monday, May 13th at 5:30 p.m. I'd like to have approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, May 9th.
I'll make a motion.
And the special meeting, May 24th.
I second the motion.
For the record, it's May 23rd.
It's supposed to be May 23rd.
Oh, May 23rd.
Yeah, thank you.
All in favor?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Executive session.
For the purposes of the executive session, it's just to, as stated on the agenda, to interview a lateral police officer, position of police officer, a lateral officer for a supernumerary position, and promotion to the rank of sergeant. And if it is okay with the board, I would request that the deputy chief and myself are included in the executive session.
Granted.
Is there a motion?
I made the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Already.
Okay. We're back from out of executive session. And Rick, do you want to give the...
Yes, no votes were taken in executive session, and right now I want to make a motion to hire Evan Beauvais to grade A patrolman starting Friday, July 8th. I also would like to make it in that motion. I'd like to have Joseph Race begin on the same day, July 8th, in the position of supernumerary. And we're delighted to have promoted Mike Loftus to the position of sergeant starting tomorrow, June 14th. So I'd like to put that in the form of a motion. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Report of the chief.
All right. For the chief's report, you'll see the statistical report in your packet. Just real quick, shopliftings are up again. They're up significantly this year. As you see, the catalytic converter thefts, we had 9 of them in May. Those continue to be a problem. Month of May, we had 5 DUI arrests. That number's up year to date, and with the summer months upon us and an increase in our events and just basically people being out and about, I just want to stress to the public, there's options, designated driver, but more along the line ride shares. We will be out there, and as you can see with these numbers, we will make arrests when we can. So please enjoy the summer months, but you have that option of a ride share or designated driver. So there is no excuses and zero tolerance. So very blunt about that, no tolerance. Our domestic violence arrests, last month they were up. They did trend down a little bit. If you recall, last month I highlighted that our family disputes had decreased, but the ones with violence had increased. That leveled out just a little bit. I would like to highlight there was a burglary in progress at the Dunkin' Donuts on East Main Street, and there was an alarm that came in. Officer John Abley arrived with Officer Kutu, and they engaged a suspect who ran out the back door in a foot chase. After that foot chase and a brief struggle, they were able to make an apprehension, so a very good job by those 2 officers. Point of interest, Detective Lieutenant, just want to highlight his efforts and the efforts of the Detective Bureau. We had a subject who was not within Connecticut. He was predominantly down in the California area, Mexico area. But he had engaged in a consistent pattern of terrorizing his family members that resided in multiple towns, one of the victims being here in Branford. That went on for a few weeks, a few months. We obtained some local warrants for him, but they're non-extraditable, meaning we couldn't take that person from Mexico or from California here. His behavior and his pattern took a turn, and it actually increased. He made some threats, specific threats for a specific event with the family and their children also. This family has multiple children in different school districts. Detective Lieutenant Eula, along with the detectives, he monitored the subject. They did multiple search warrants to monitor his phone, track him down. We enlisted the help of Homeland Security investigations as HSI and the FBI through Eula's persistence, and I want to stress his persistence to stay on top of this. We were able to get the FBI to levy federal charges against this individual, and just recently he came over from Mexico and he was caught, and he'll face federal charges. But this was a lot of his time, morning, noon, and night at specific periods when we were monitoring this subject. It was just a very prolonged investigation. He put a lot of effort into it. But what I was most proud of was the fact that this was something that we had done some warrants. It was something that was pending, but it seemed to escalate. And, sometimes they just don't take no for an answer. And we were able to work with our prosecutors and get some warrants, some search warrants to monitor his phone and to really dig down. So when he made specific threats, we were comfortable that he was across the country and wouldn't have the means to do those threats here or those acts in Branford. So very good job, a lot of work on his part. So once again, a great job by them. As far as the asset forfeiture report, the remaining balance now is $110,000, $109,961 to be exact. If you recall, last meeting we talked about the command post, and you authorized the expenditure of $100,000. So with that expenditure, we're still at roughly 110. Just to give you a quick update on the command post, all the towns that are participating, including Branford, we've issued our purchase orders. We were, again, that's when you have multiple towns trying to do this, the purchasing regulations, the process, we did lose out on the original vehicle that was pretty much road ready. But the one we were able to secure is in production, and it's at the later stages of production. So the good news is we have some time to meet with them during construction meetings and make very minor modifications, nothing crazy, but it'll be a little ways out. We'll have a better date when it'll arrive. But sometimes government doesn't move fast. There's nothing we could do about that. We moved at a lightning pace for a project of this nature. Again, $493,000 for the total vehicle, and we contributed $100 out of asset forfeiture, but we still have roughly $40,000 in technology that we owe. So we're speccing that now with the radio specialists of what we need, and when we have that, I'll come back either for a transfer or another expenditure through normal means of the budget process to make that difference up. Because we were shy. Most of the municipalities were 137, 140, but we held back, saying that we would cover that cost. Other than that, it's a good use of funds. Everyone contributed, and it was purchased off of GSA pricing. They have the government contract, so we're able to expedite that. Along the lines of personnel.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
What are going to be our ongoing annual fees for that expenditure?
We're going to have some cellular technology fees because we'll have cellular technology in the vehicle. We're also looking at satellite. technology, because we've learned from all our crisis situations that, believe it or not, the bandwidth, we get kicked off too. So we're looking at that. The maintenance, more than likely, it'll be probably housed in East Haven. And all our mechanics, when they bring the vehicle to us, their mechanics will train and show our mechanics the generator system, the hydraulics, and all that. I don't see right now, other than the oil change, the oil need to be done based on time, not miles, because this isn't going to get a lot of miles. But what we'll fall back on is our existing mutual aid account we have. So when we get to, say, tires, it's a big expenditure. We can predict that. We know that. We'll start budgeting ahead of time, and we have a shared services account, which we all contribute to on a yearly basis. So we'll project those costs. But
What about software?
nothing, just basically give us an internet connection and we're good to go. We use
We won't have a big,
No.
okay.
No, we use what we have now.
All right. You know what I'm concerned
Yeah.
about. Okay.
No, we don't have anything of that. Audra Clyburn, she's up in the academy. She's slated to graduate at the end of July. She's doing very well. Her grades are very good. So we hope to see her in the end of July, and then she'll go through the field training process, which they're working on now to get that ramped up. So we're looking forward to having her here. Also, just on personnel, I want to thank Sergeant Romanello. He had some ideas on how to engage our youth population, specifically those children in our high school. And as one of the regional traffic team members, he is tasked with investigating the fatal motor vehicle accidents and the serious accidents. And a lot of that is based in physics and mathematics. So he reached out to the school, worked with their math department. They came up with a 5-week program in which he would hold classes with the students and teach them basic accident reconstruction. Great program. I was able to meet with the class and the graduates last week. But just a great idea. He took it, he ran with it. It was great to see the students, and he obviously made an impact. So something we're going to try to continue with and expand. But great job on his part. And now he also did this with his duties for the recon team, which they've been busy, and his normal sergeant's duties here, and filling in for some staffing voids, and did this. So great commitment, but I want to thank him. Great job. It was a really cool program. Along those lines, update on Hosley Avenue, just to kind of keep everyone abreast of that. We submitted recommendations to engineering, and they're going to work with us with a small working group to properly scope the study for that roadway. So what we're looking to do is, one, what's the feasibility of fixing it, paving it, drainage up to new standards? Is the roadway that needed? Is it that necessary? What's the impact on the recreational areas there if we were to close part of it, close all of it? What are our traffic volumes? And if so, what roadway improvements need to be done if deemed? Because just paving and drainage alone, I think we're up into the 3 million all day long. So that is going to be a study that's done to give us those answers. And then at that point, we can reevaluate it and help the town, a roadmap for the future there. So that's ongoing.
What's the time frame on this study?
Well, there's two ways. We have to put an RFP together. That's the scope we'll deal with. We'll post that, put that out. We might have some engaged vendors already that we might be able to leverage, and that may be a little quicker. But again, that just depends on the size and the scope and the availability of a traffic firm to do that for us. But it'll be kind of an independent view of what the recommendations are. And lastly, is we're coming up on the end of the budget. It looks fine. We're going to make the mark, no problem. A lot of it is driven by the fact that we can't onboard people fast enough. So we lose an officer. It takes us all that period to get them. So we have personnel money in there. Believe it or not, unless we get a couple big deliveries, I think our fuel line is going to make the mark. That's very
It will
shocking.
come in at,
Don't hold me to it, but
man,
today
you better keep that truck away.
today it looked very good, and all of our other lines are in line basically. So we should be good. Our overtime looks okay, even in light of some of the shortages we've been having. But other than that, I have nothing else to report.
Okay,
Good month.
yeah,
Busy month.
okay.
Traffic.
Oh wait, I just wanted to, in light of the fact that we did some hiring and you did some interviews tonight, I just want the deputy to hit just a quick update on our recruiting efforts to kind of give you an idea of where we are.
So our police app recruitment drive for 2022, we began that on March 11th. The process was open through May 2nd. During that time, we had 90 applicants. In comparison to 2021, we had 137 applicants, and in 2019, we had 193 applicants. So we are down to 90, but overall 90 in this market right now is not a bad number in comparison to some of the other area towns that we've heard with what they've attracted. So our campaign was pretty aggressive. We did a lot of outreach as much as we could. I'm sure you've seen some of it around town, but basically where we're at right now is we had 37 of our 90 failed the agility, another 7 failed the written test, 9 failed the oral board panel, and then 13 withdrew for personal reasons. That leaves us with 24 active candidates, 10 of which we're going to interview tomorrow and see if we move them on to the background process. So typically we lose a good amount in the background process. We have currently 2 openings. So we hope to have at least 1 person for a September academy class, maybe 2 if we can, and that's where we're at for now.
Now, John, do we have any walk-in candidates?
So they can't just walk in and apply. You have to apply to our entry-level process at the time when the period's open to apply, because we have the written test, the physical agility, the oral board. So all that is in motion to get the candidates to the chief interview process, which is tomorrow, and then the background and psychological, medical
That's a lot of
testing,
work.
right? Polygraph. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a long process. We try to work as quickly as we can to continue to staff the department. And we're not in bad shape with 2 openings. It's not a bad number to be at. So, but we have to keep on top of it because we have other pending retirements possibly, and it's just a constant cycle. So.
Thank you.
Okay, we approve the chief's report.
Do we need to?
Traffic?
Yeah, traffic. There's a request for signage identifying directions to the Stony Creek Legacy Theater. The traffic committee recommends no action at this time. Is there a motion to approve this?
We don't have to because
I
it's
think
no
we
action.
do.
No action, you don't have to do anything.
Request for a crosswalk on Brushy Plain Road between the park and the condo complex. Again, it is the recommendation of the traffic committee to approve the request for the crosswalk
And submit to DOT.
and send it to the DOT.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the crosswalk concept and get the wheels moving for that.
Okay,
Is there a second?
Did you say where it was? Did you happen to?
I said it's between the park and I said condo complex, but it's the Island View complex. Yeah,
is that Island
on
View?
Brushy Hill.
Yes.
On Brushy Hill Road. Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And that was all that was on our agenda for the traffic committee.
Okay, before the chair, we have another meeting coming up in July. Do you know what the second Monday is? I don't have a calendar.
I can tell you right now.
The 11th.
The 11th?
I will not be here for that meeting. I can tell you that. I'll be out of the country.
Oh.
So if you guys want to if we get into a jam and we can't get a quorum because other people are also on
I
vacation.
think we'll all be here, right? The 11th?
I'll be here.
Okay,
I'll be here.
all right.
And Douglas will be back, I'm sure. Okay, right now. Where are you going?
Scotland. Golf.
Oh, boy. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, you may. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Brantford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BrantfordTV.org.